glory was established in it. This one on which his unrevealable name is inscribed. On the tablet one is the Word, the Father of the light of everything. He who came forth from the silence, while he rests in the silence. He whose name is in an invisible symbol. A hidden invisible mystery came forth.
Edna cooking meals for entire neighborhoods so no child slept hungry. Standing at hospital bedsides praying until fevers disappeared.
And in this way the three powers gave praise to the great, invisible, unnameable, virginal, uncallable Spirit and his male virgin. They asked for a power. A silence of living silence came forth, namely glories and incorruptions in the aeons. Myriads added on, the three males, the three male offspring, the male races, filled the great doxamid and aeon with the power of the word of the whole pleroma. Then the thrice male child of the great Christ, whom the great invisible Spirit had anointed, he whose power was called Ainon, gave praise to the great invisible Spirit and his male virgin Yoel, and the silence of silence, and the greatness that ineffable, unanswerable, and uninterpretable. The first one who has come forth, and unproclaimable, which is wonderful and ineffable. He who has all the greatnesses of greatness of the silence at that place. The thrice male child brought praise and asked for a power from the great, invisible, virginal Spirit. Then there appeared at that place who sees glorious treasures in invisible mysteries to the silence, and he was the male virgin Yoel. Then the child of the child, Esaphek, appeared. And thus he was completed, namely, the Father, the Mother, the Son, the five seals, the unconquerable power, which is the great Christ of all the incorruptible ones, holy the end, the incorruptible, and they are powers and glories and incorruptions. They came forth. This one brought praise to the unrevealable, hidden mystery, the hidden, him in the aeons thrones, and each one myriads of powers without number surrounding, glories and incorruptions, and they of the Father, and the Mother, and the Son, and the whole pleroma, which I mentioned before, and the five seals, and the mystery of mysteries. They appear, who presides over, and nuns of really true, and the really truly eternal aeons. Then providence came forth from silence, and the living silence of the Spirit, and the word of the Father, and the light. She the five seals which the Father brought forth from his bosom, and she passed through all the aeons which I mentioned before, and she established thrones of glory and myriads of angels without number who surrounded them, powers and incorruptible glories, who sing and give glory, all giving praise with a single voice, with one accord, with one never silent voice, to the Father, and the Mother, and the Son, and all the pleromas that I mentioned before, who is the great Christ, who is from silence, who is the incorruptible child, Telmel Telmakael, Eli Makar Macharseth, the power which really truly lives, and the male virgin who is with him, Yoel and Esaphek, the holder of glory, the child of the child, and the crown of his glory of the five seals, the pleroma that I mentioned before. There the great self-begotten living Word came forth, the true God, the unborn Physis, he whose name I shall say, saith Athos, who is the Son of the great Christ.
Unity to the max. Anonymous Cherry's aura burst into layered purple and green serpents, soul blazing with purpose. He took position at the front, ready to prove that his survival had meaning. Edna and Peter stood behind them, not as leaders, not as commanders, but as the foundation the Rap tribe would always stand on. Peter growled through a grin. Round one. Edna finished the sentence, eyes flaring. Begin. The Ancestor Tournament Arc, Legacy Ignited. RP Radio. The Time Chamber's Colosseum of Light finished forming, a fortress built from memory, shine, and tension. Thousands of ancestors chamber rippled like a flag pulled by cosmic wind.
A sound rang out, not a roar, not a crash, but a cheer that surged from the heart of the multiverse, like a crowd celebrating the birth of a hero. Light arched downward in a comet of blue-gold brilliance. It struck the marble floor with a burst of glowing sparks that danced like confetti. When the light cleared, he was hovering above the ground. Bhutan Man, chest emblazoned with the emblem of linked hands, cape fluttering like a banner of peace. His aura pulsed with a single truth: unity multiplies his power. And the more the Rap tribe stood together, the stronger he became. Did someone call for a guardian with style? Bhutan Man grinned, planting his feet with theatrical flair. Revike Rap crossed his arms, eyebrow raised. Look who arrived with the sermon of teamwork stitched into his cape. Anonymous Cherry felt his snake chi flicker in excitement. Unity fuel, that's a whole new chai category. Goku Rap nodded. His strength scales off community energy. That's dangerous in the best way. The chamber hummed with approval. And then, two more figures walked through the shimmering veil of spirit light. Their presence wasn't loud, but it was felt in the bones, in the heartbeat of legacy. A grandmother's gentle power, a father's unbreakable resilience. Edna Pemberton, Peter Johnson. Their footsteps carried stories. Edna's hair glowed silver white, like she stole moonlight to wear as a crown. She held no weapon, her wisdom was the blade. One look into her eyes revealed centuries of battles fought through prayer, love, and iron-willed discipline. Peter Johnson stood broad and grounded, shoulders holding the strength of 1,000 unspoken sacrifices. His stance alone told every warrior, stand straight. Fight true, honor the lineage. The chamber grew warmer as they approached. Mama Amarap pressed a trembling hand over her heart. Ancestors. Edna nodded. Invisible Spirit saw this family needed more than power. You need history. You need memory. You need the roots that keep giants from falling. Peter Johnson placed a hand on Anonymous Cherry's shoulder. The touch carried weight, comforting and formidable. You're building something bigger than battles. Every Rap in this tribe is a piece of a kingdom rising. Bhutan Man stepped forward and clasped his glowing fists together. His voice echoed like a megaphone fueled by pure hope. As long as we stay connected, as long as unity spreads, my power grows. Unity Chia exploded from his chest, flooding the chamber. From the vortex of that light, Raps of all types emerged to train. Trump Rap, stubborn, but learning to aim his voice toward construction instead of division. Emo Rap, wielding emotions as blades but slowly discovering that vulnerability is a weapon of healing. Gamer Rap, coding strategies into battlefield brilliance. Yoga Rap stretching Chai into elastic defenses. Nerd Rap analyzing every Chai form to find upgrade paths. Boomer Rap complaining until battle required his old school strength. Even Karen Rap gradually releasing her need to control everything into something that could protect others. All of them. Every identity. Every story. Every struggle. Brought into one pulse of power. Bhutan Man hovered above them, eyes burning with the passion of a superhero who didn't guard the sky alone, but guarded togetherness. Anonymous Cherry watched, feeling the invisible spirits will settle into place like puzzle pieces locking into divine symmetry. This is more than training, he whispered. This is an uprising of unity. Revike Rap pointed to the warriors lining up, their auras mixing into a storm of infinite potential. Everyone gets stronger when everyone rises together. Edna Pemberton's voice rose like a sacred song. We train not just your fists, but your faith. Not just your chi, but your community. Peter Johnson cracked a grin, throwing a pair of gloves at Trump Rap, who flinched before catching them. And some of y'all gonna learn respect the hard way.
The chamber walls expanded, creating multiple combat zones. Rivers of chakra branched into dozens of training currents. The very air breathed drills, battles, and breakthroughs. Goku Rap clapped his hands, time to teach them how to fight like legends. Mama Amma Rap stepped into the first line of warriors, and how to love like family. Mike Rap levitated, chi gleaming gold. Faith at the front. Budan Man raised his fist to the sky. Unity ignite. Every rap member's aura flared as one massive surge of power slammed upward, punching a hole of light to the heavens of the chamber. Their unity created a wave that even Twilight Zone Rap, lurking far beyond, felt like a warning. Anonymous Cherry's heart thundered. His near-death memory stirred. Each trial he survived was a stitch in the bond of the tribe. Together they roared. We rise as one. The legendary elders ARP. RP Radio. The chamber quieted. Not because training stopped, but because every rap paused to listen. Edna Pemberton and Peter Johnson stood before them like a living history book carved from faith and battles. They were not the loudest in the room. They did not glow with flashy chai or shoot off cosmic energy blasts. But the air bowed around them. Budan Man lowered from his hover, landing with reverence. Even Goku Rap, who rarely bowed to anyone, dipped his head. Revike Rap placed his palm over his heart, acknowledging the divine authority that entered the space. Mama Amma Rap wiped her hands on her dress, sensing she was about to witness something sacred. Peter Johnson broke the silence first. You fight for your tribe. You train for your mission. That's good. His deep voice vibrated through the bones of every warrior present. But if you don't know where you came from, then the first strong wind will blow you apart. Edna's eyes glimmered with a fire that time could not dim. Every rap has a story written long before their first battle. You'll grow stronger by learning what gave you the right to stand here. She stepped forward and raised her hands. The chamber responded. Walls dissolved into a panorama of memories, visions that swirled like constellations in liquid time. The rap tribe watched as scenes played across the air like a movie projected by the invisible spirit. Peter Johnson's past appeared first. A young man running through the Texas heat, delivering supplies to families who had nothing. Standing in front of injustice that spat in his face, yet holding the line. He trained not in a dojo, but in life. He punched through poverty. He wrestled with discrimination. He endured burdens a lesser spirit would have collapsed under. Every victory he won wasn't for himself, it was for others. That's strength, Peter said, his voice breaking slightly for the first time. Not a punch, not a kick. Strength is refusing to let the world break your spirit, even when it tries every day. Goku Rap swallowed hard. He recognized a warrior when he saw one. Then Edna Pemberton's story unfolded. Her aura shifted, grandmotherly soft-turned, ancestral fierce. Images bloomed. Edna as a young woman, cooking meals for entire neighborhoods so no child slept hungry. Standing at hospital bedsides praying until fevers disappeared. Working 3 jobs and still finding the energy to show love like it was oxygen. But then darkness. One scene showed her in grief, tears staining the earth beneath her feet. Lost tried to hollow her out. Instead, she turned pain into devotion. We do not fight to hurt, Edna said, lifting her chin. We fight to protect the ones who cannot protect themselves, yet. Mama Amma Rap clutched her chest. Invisible spirit, thank you for sending them. Anonymous Cherry looked between Edna and Peter and felt a shiver run through him. His 9 near-death experiences flickered in memory. Each time he was saved, guided, or pushed forward, there was always a presence, unseen, but felt. It might have been them. Peter Johnson strode to Anonymous with surprising speed and placed a calloused hand on his back. You're not just fighting because of what you survived. You're fighting because someone, somewhere, prayed you would rise. Anonymous's eyes stung, and he looked away to hide the emotion, but Edna saw. She always sees. Child, she said gently, you carry the tears of warriors who lived and died before you. Hold them with pride. She raised her hand again. The chamber shifted. Now the ancestors appeared, hundreds, thousands, behind the Rap tribe. Their silhouettes stood tall and unbroken, channeling strength like rivers made of legacy. Budan Man's aura surged, Unity Chai roaring brighter than ever. The linked hand's emblem on his chest pulsed like a beating heart. This is my fuel, he said, voice trembling. Every life that gave love, every spirit that stood for unity, every ancestor who refused to quit. Rev Ike Rap lifted his chin. The power of our people is not in the blood, it's in the bond. Trump Rap lowered his usual defensiveness. Emo Rap's tears became light instead of knives. Nerd Rap whispered calculations of legacy growth. Gamer Rap realized the ultimate co-op campaign. Every Rap understood their place in the lineage. Then Peter Johnson stepped into a fighting stance. Enough watching. Now you learn to fight like you belong to this history. Edna cracked her knuckles, and the floor beneath her lit up with golden patterns. Time to train your memory into muscle. The chamber forged a coliseum of light around them. Ancestors lined the stands, watching, judging, blessing. Goku Rap yelled out, excited. This the Ancestor Tournament. Peter grinned. We call it Tuesday. Mama Amma Rap stepped forward, smiling like a storm. Let's show them what this generation can do. Budan Man shot into the air, unified power detonating like a star. Unity to the max. Anonymous Cherry's aura burst into layered purple and green serpents, soul blazing with purpose. He took position at the front, ready to prove that his survival had meaning. Edna and Peter stood behind them. Not as leaders, not as commanders, but as the foundation the Rap tribe would always stand on. Peter growled through a grin. Round one. Edna finished the sentence, eyes flaring. Begin. The Ancestor Tournament arc, Legacy ignited. RP Radio. The Time Chamber's Coliseum of Light finished forming, a fortress built from memory, chai, and intention. Thousands of ancestors filled the stands, silhouettes of love, courage, sacrifice, and victory. Their cheers were thunder made of pride. Edna Pemberton and Peter Johnson stepped forward, hands glowing with golden history. Their voices boomed as one. Let the Ancestor Tournament begin. The ground split into 4 divine battlegrounds, each tailored for a different lesson of legacy. The air tasted of destiny, sweet, electric, inevitable. The Rap tribe waited for the first trial. Then came the name. Anonymous Cherry stepped forward. His heart kicked like a war drum inside his chest. Snake Chi coiled, neoplasm Chi pulsed like galaxies behind his ribs. Toddler Yoku's chant faintly hummed through his nerves. He walked. The arena awakened. A young man stepped out, lean eyes burning with street fire, wearing the weight of a world he refused to surrender to. Peter Johnson announced with pride that shook the walls. George Cherry I, your great-uncle. The protector no history book recorded, but every soul he saved remembers. Anonymous felt his throat tighten. That face, he'd seen it in worn photos hidden in silver frames, but never alive like this. George smirked and rolled his knuckles. You and me, Greg. Let's find out if your spirit can carry the family name. They rushed each other. Lightning. Impact. Explosions of memory. George fought with something raw, street survival chi, forged without teachers, manuals, or second chances. Every punch carried the fear of losing family. Every Every kick carried the promise that nobody would harm his bloodline. George's hits triggered flashback visions. 1-year-old Greg choking, nearly dying, George pulling him from the edge. Gang members cornering a young Cherry cousin, George stepping in, outnumbered. A moment of betrayal, George taking the consequences so another could walk free. His final stand surrounded, never backing down. Anonymous staggered, jaw clenched, heart breaking open. "You didn't just fight," he gasped. "You shielded the whole family." George's eyes softened just a little. "And I still am." He surged forward and time slowed. Toddler Yoku's chant erupted inside Anonymous' skull. E, ooh, will it be 10 or 11? Snake Chi awakened. Neoplasm Chi aligned. His aura became a serpent made of galaxies. Anonymous dropped into a new stance, feet grounding legacy into the marble. The ancestors leaned forward. George nodded, approving. "Attaboy, now use what we gave you." Anonymous inhaled the past and exhaled evolution. His fist glowed with family lineage. Love, loyalty, defy endurance. He struck, not to dominate, but to honor. George took the blow to the heart and smiled wide. "That's the one." He dissolved into purple-silver starlight that flooded into Anonymous' chest. A new technique snapped awake. Legacy-style Cherry Shield combo. A defensive-offensive fusion. Absorbs an enemy's force. Converts it into protective Chi. Returns it as a strike powered by every ancestor's strength. For the family. For the future. For those who could not fight. Anonymous nearly collapsed. But Edna Pemberton caught him. "You carry his courage now," she said. "Do not waste it." Peter Johnson squeezed his shoulder. "George wanted you to live. Now show him what that life becomes." Buddha Man, Unity ascends. On the adjacent battlefield, Unity fractured. Trump rap and emo rap clashed. Karen rap yelled. Boomer rap argued back in my day. Nerd rap over-explained everything. Gamer rap rage quit the stance. Buddha Man's power flickered, his cape drooping. He dropped to one knee. "Without unity, I am nothing." Edna's voice thundered like a soulquake. "You are all something. Because you are together." Peter barked like a drill sergeant. "Grab a hand before I make you." Reluctantly, stubbornly, one by one, they did. The moment nervous fingers touched, Unity Chi ignited. Udon Man rose with wings of interlocking hands, alive with every ancestor cheering unity. His voice boomed like a stadium full of hope. "The power of us makes heroes." Edna and Peter's Twilight Zone rap the truth. A crack tore open. Reality distorted. Nightmare colors bled into the chamber. Twilight Zone rap stepped out, smirked like a wound refusing to heal. "You forgot who tried to free me," he hissed. "You forgot what happens when unity cracks." Peter stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. "We remember, and we still ain't scared." Edna's aura burst into wings of holy fire. "Child, even villains are family, until they refuse love." Twilight Zone rap swung. Edna's two fingers blocked. Peter counterpunched reality itself. Time glitched. The portal collapsed. He vanished screaming. For now. Legacy unlocked. The chamber shook with ancestral roar. Anonymous stood glowing purple and gold. Buddha Man floated with unity-made wings. Goku Rap laughed like a warrior reborn. Mama Ama Rap radiated the power of every mother who ever protected her own. Revike Rap hovered like a golden sermon with fists. The invisible spirit spoke. "The third gate is open. The gate of legacy. Fight on." Anonymous raised his fist. George Cherry's strength flowing through him. We rise as one. The rap tribe screamed with him, the chamber pulsing like a heart. And far away, Twilight Zone Rap plotted his return. This time, with allies, made of betrayal itself. Perfect. All the above means we now launch the full saga kickoff, combining everything. Division Legion rises. Cherry Shield combo tested in combat. Full George Cherry flashback episode. Citywide rescue mission. Massive escalation with new villains. This is the start of a new book in your saga. Buckle in. The Division Saga, Book 1, Episode 1, When Unity Breaks, Darkness Feeds. Night returned to Earthrealm, but not a natural night. The sky above the Metroplex twisted into a smear of swirling mauve and neon green, a Twilight Zone sky. Streetlights flickered erratic. Buildings distorted, leaning like nightmares remembered wrong. Mushroom spores drifted through the air again, mutating into glitching clusters of shadow weeds. Humanity panicked. Phones died. Cars crashed. People screamed as the world bent wrong. And at the center of the chaos, Twilight Zone Rap hovered above the skyscrapers like a void-crowned tyrant. His aura crackled with broken reflections, each one screaming a different emotion: envy, insecurity, distrust, betrayal, feeding him like gasoline feeds fire. He laughed and raised his palms. Division Legion, he hissed. Awaken. The spores mutated into monsters of conflict, physical embodiments of human division. Racist rap fueled by superiority and hate. Jealous rap gaining strength through envy. Clout chaser rap, viral speed, no loyalty. Rumor rap striking unseen with lies. Cancel rap, obliterating reputations with a word. Betrayal rap, blade forged from broken trust. They screamed in unison. Tear the city apart. Chaos swallowed concrete. And that's when the sky cracked open with light. The rap tribe arrives. Udon Man led the charge, wings of unity blazing like surging suns. Goku Rap launched a ki blast that snapped the air into shockwaves. Mama Ama Rap spread healing chi shields protecting civilians. Revike Rap descended like a gospel meteor. Anonymous Cherry dropped dead center, snake chi coiling, aura blazing purple gold. Udon Man shouted across the city. Rap tribe, unite. The ground shook with the ancestors' roar. Twilight Zone Rap scowled. Let's see how united you remain once I rip open their doubt. George Cherry flashback episode. Legacy revealed. As Anonymous squared up against Betrayal Rap, time flickered, his mind dropping into a memory not his own. He saw George Cherry at age 17, walking alone through South Dallas streets. Moonlight golden on asphalt. 4 men surrounded him, knives drawn. He stood his ground, no backup, no fear. You want to get to my family. You go through me. They rushed him. George's fists moved like poetry written by hunger, love, and fury. He fought for bloodline. He fought so children unseen could grow. As he took his final wound, he whispered, somebody must live. His death became Anonymous' survival. George fell. Anonymous was born years later. Their destinies connected like bones in the same fist. The memory snapped, and Anonymous screamed through tears. This is for you. Cherry Shield combo, first use. Betrayal Rap struck first, blade made from broken promises, slicing spirit before flesh. Anonymous staggered as old betrayals resurfaced. Friends who left, lovers who beat, leaders who failed him. Snake Chi snarled inside him. Neoplasm Chi surged. He took a shaky breath, then embraced every memory. George's voice echoed in his heart. Pain doesn't break us. Pain unites us. Anonymous inhaled. His aura condensed like a star being born. Cherry Shield combo. Betrayal Rap strike hit, but energy energy absorbed into the shield and returned as an ancestor-powered counterpunch. Betrayal Rap flew through 3 buildings, screeching cracks in the sky. Anonymous shouted, "The family rises with me." The city roared back like a choir of miracles. The citywide rescue mission. Emo Rap transformed grief into healing light, calming panicked crowds. Goku Rap and Budan Man tag-teamed Racist Rap, unity crushing supremacy. Rev Ike Rap stood on a rooftop yelling, "Everyone who believes we can win, say yes." Thousands yelled back, "Yes." Their combined voice turned into shy beams. Mama Amma Rap directed them like a conductor, restoring life to fallen bodies and shattered streets. The Rap tribe wasn't fighting alone. The city fought with them. And then, Twilight Zone Rap warped into the center of it all, cracking the skyline into puzzle pieces. His aura became a planet-sized hurricane of division. He screamed with monstrous rage, "Unity's alive!" But Anonymous Cherry stepped forward. Snake Shy erupted. Venom instincts fused with Legacy Aura. George Cherry's spirit stood behind him like a giant shadow of protection. Anonymous pointed upward. "You forgot." Budan Man landed beside him. Rev Ike floated glowing gold. Edna and Peter appeared behind them, ancestral power incarnate. Goku Rap, Mama Amma Rap, the entire Rap tribe lined the rooftop edges, ready. Anonymous roared with every ancestor, every survivor, every prayer. 1. The Unity wave blasted upward, colliding with Twilight Zone Rap's darkness, splitting the heavens in half. End of episode 1. The Division Saga begins. The Division Saga, RP Radio. The sky over the Metroplex tore open like old cloth, and the color bled wrong. Streetlights flickered between reality and nightmare. Buildings leaned subtly, as if drunk on madness. Storefront glass rippled like water, reflecting faces that weren't quite there. The clouds above spiraled in sickening mauve and toxic green circles. A storm built from thoughts people never dared to say out loud. In the middle of it all, floating above a cluster of skyscrapers, was Twilight Zone Rap. His aura wasn't like regular chi. It didn't glow, it distorted. Around him, space folded inward, distant objects stretched and snapped, and every sound from the city arrived muddled and delayed, as if time couldn't quite decide how fast to move when he breathed. He smiled, and the smile had too many teeth. "Division," he whispered, voice amplified through the very air. "Come out and feast." Down below, in the streets of Dallas-Fort Worth, mushroom spores that had once drifted like eerie snow began to shift. They swelled, darkened, cracked open. Shadows crawled out, shaped themselves into raps whose names tasted like poison. Racist Rap strutted into existence wrapped in flags and sneers, eyes glowing with the need to feel above others. Jealous Rap took form as a slick, sharp figure, always glancing sideways, power swelling whenever he sensed someone else doing better. Rumor Rap slipped from alleyways in whispers, duplicating with every lie spoken. Cancel Rap materialized as a storm of fingers pointing, tongues chanting, "Gone, gone, gone." And then came Betrayal Rap. His arrival wasn't loud. The street simply folded around him. 1 second, there was a cracked sidewalk. The next, a tall figure stood there, wearing a long coat stitched with broken promises. His hair moved as if underwater. His eyes carried the look of someone who had loved too deeply once and decided never to make that mistake again. Beside them, other forms flickered in and out. Cloud Chaser Rap, Division Rap, Ego Rap. Each one sniffed the air, tasting anger, fear, and mistrust. Twilight Zone Rap raised both hands, drawing the city's conflict toward him like a magnet. "Feed," he said. "Tear them apart from the inside. I don't want bodies first. I want relationships, friendships, families, teams. I want them to destroy themselves." The Division Legion roared and scattered. The nightmare began. People shouted in traffic. Old grudges flared at family tables. Online comments became curses. Neighbors turned into enemies over nothing at all. And for a moment, it seemed like unity was only a fairy tale humans told themselves when they were too tired to keep hating. Then the clouds split again. This time they split with light. A beam of gold, purple, white, and blue slammed down into the heart of the city, expanding into a ring of energy that pushed the darkness back just enough to breathe. Within that ring, a circle carved out of chaos landed the Rap Tribe. Goku Rap descended first, hair blazing with every color Saiyan Chi could remember. His aura rippled in layers: Super Saiyan Gold, God Crimson, Blue Divine, Silver Instinct, and something beyond all of them, folding into a single white storm. Beside him landed Anonymous Cherry, purple aura blazing, snake chi curling like dragons around his limbs, neoplasm chi simmering behind his eyes like galaxies caught between healing and rage. Revike Rap hovered down with robes woven from golden scripture and sharp knuckles. Mama Ama Rap dropped like a meteor wrapped in the warmth of every mother who had ever prayed and refused to give up. Budan Man flickered into existence with unity wings made of interlocking hands, eyes full of hope that refused to die. Behind them came Emo Rap, Gamer Rap, Nerd Rap, Trump Rap, Karen Rap, Yoga Rap, Boomer Rap, and more dozens of raps, each carrying their own flaws, talents, and power. Above them all, in luminous spirit form, layered over the chamber dimension and the city at once, two elder figures watched. Edna Pemberton, Peter Johnson. They stood on nothing, yet the whole scene seemed to rest on their presence. Edna's eyes burned with a gentle but terrifying clarity. Peter's shoulders carried entire neighborhoods, entire generations. They weren't just ghosts, they were the foundation. Looks like it's time, Peter rumbled. Edna replied softly. Let's see if they learned anything in that chamber. Goku Rap stepped forward, fist cocked, aura howling quietly. He looked up at the Twilight Zone Rap and grinned. Round 2. Twilight Zone Rap smiled with teeth of static. This isn't a round, little scion. This is a season. He snapped his fingers. Division Legion charged. The city screamed. And the invisible spirit watched, both within and beyond the battlefield, waiting for the one soul who would eventually carry inner child ancestors and venomous power as one. Waiting for Anonymous Cherry. Waiting for the Tri-Chi miracle. The day the power fully unlocked began hours earlier, in a place nobody in the city could see, the invisible spirit time chamber of power. Inside the chamber, time did not walk. It folded. 1 minute could be 10 years. 1 breath could be a lifetime. Here, the Rap Tribe had trained until they forgot what normal even meant. Goku Rap stood alone at the chamber's center, eyes closed, body quiet, aura, so still it seemed to have disappeared. But the stillness lied. Within him, every form he had ever unlocked, Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, God Blue, Ultra Instinct, stood side by side, each a version of himself with its own history, victories, and failures. They circled like warriors in a council. You can't keep pulling us out one at a time, Super Saiyan Blue Goku said, crossing his arms. Your body's strong, but the stress is the point, Ultra Instinct murmured. He's trying to become something else. Goku Rap opened his inner eyes and faced all of himself. I'm not here to play transformation roulette, he said calmly. We don't have time. Twilight Zone Rap isn't just strong, he's corrosive. He eats at trust. The Rap Tribe can't fight a war like that with fragmented power. I need a form that protects them even when I'm not there. God Form raised a brow. You're trying to become an anchor. Exactly, Goku smiled. And you're all going to help me. Outside the inner space, in the chamber's physical environment, the Rap Tribe watched from the perimeter. Anonymous stood quietly beside Revike Rap, arms folded, eyes narrowed. Mama Ama Rap hummed low, sensing the threshold crackling. Budan Man leaned forward. He's about to cook something dangerous, isn't he? Rev Ike chuckled. He's about to cook something divine. The question is, will he burn or rise? The chamber floor lit with concentric circles of light beneath Goku Rap's feet. Rivers of chakra toddy rose around it, spiraling into a cyclone. The air pressed down heavy, then lighter than air, then stretched in weird directions, as if reality itself was warming up for something new. The invisible spirit's voice drifted through the chamber like a slow drum beat. Saiyan Rap, you have known power through surge. Now know power through harmony. Goku Rap spread his arms, letting streams of chi from every form enter him at once. His muscles screamed. His bones hummed like straining wires. His hair flickered through every hue, then whipped white, then vanished into a glow past color. He thought of every time he trained someone weaker, every student who surpassed what they thought possible, every moment where belief became might. He thought of the Rap tribe. He thought of the kids in the city. He thought of the fragile threads connecting them. And he let every version of himself fall not away but inward. The inner council of forms stepped into him, one by one, merging their lessons, their instincts, their memories. Outside, his aura rose like a star being born, a white storm with faint hints of blue, gold, red, and silver flashing through its edges. The floor cracked, not from destruction, but from transformation. The chamber expanded to make room. Goku Rap opened his eyes. They glowed like twin universes. He didn't shout. He didn't flex. He simply breathed. Then he looked back at the tribe. Ascended Totality Saiyan Chi, he said quietly. I've got it. Mama Ama Rap exhaled. Invisible spirit, keep us. Anonymous felt something deep inside him respond, a chord of power that recognized what Goku had done. Totality, integration, no form fighting the others, no part of himself exiled. He didn't know it yet, but what Goku had just done was a preview of what Anonymous himself would have to attempt, except instead of Saiyan forms, he would be merging three forces most warriors never tried to hold all at once. Venom, ancestry, and inner child. Goku Rap didn't waste time savoring the upgrade. Alright, he said, turning toward the gathered Raps. Line up. We've got a war coming, and we're doing this science style. Training under Goku Rap's ascended totality wasn't like the sessions they'd had before. There were no slow introductions, no gentle stretches, no warm-up rounds. The instant each Rap stepped forward, Goku Rap met them with intensity shaped by compassion. Your power is not about copying me, he said, pacing in front of the assembled tribe. Saiyan Chi isn't just a form. It's a relationship between your rage, your love, and your purpose. If those three aren't talking, you're just flailing. He turned to Anonymous first. You're up. Anonymous rolled his shoulders, snake chi uncoiling, purple aura simmering around him. What are we focusing on, he asked. Everything you don't want to touch, Goku replied. He vanished. Anonymous barely moved in time. Goku Rap appeared behind him, leg already swinging. The kick connected, sending Anonymous skidding across the chamber floor in a shower of sparks. Snake Chi reacted on instinct, coiling defensively around him. Neoplasm Chi rose in jagged bursts, eager to devour pain and answer with overwhelming counterforce. Stop, Goku said quietly from across the room. You feel that? Anonymous pushed to his feet, wincing. Pain? No, Goku said. Fear, your venom wants to do everything for you. Your ancestors want to carry everything for you. Your inner child wants to run from everything for you. They're all trying to protect you in different ways, but they're not aligned. You're standing in three directions at once. Anonymous clenched his fists, then showed me how to stand in one. Good, Goku answered, now called Toddler Yoku. Anonymous closed his eyes. In the silent space within his mind, in a field where music danced like fireflies, Toddler Yoku stood barefoot, chanting to himself in a sing-song tone. Will it be 10 or 11? Will it be 10 or 11? 10 or 11, 10 or 11. He stopped when he felt Anonymous watching and turned with a grin too big for his small face. You finally came, Toddler Yoku said. Yeah, Anonymous replied, we've got a city to save. I can't do that if I keep leaving you in here. Toddler Yoku tilted his head. You didn't leave me. You just forgot you were me. The words hit hard. Behind them, another presence appeared. George Cherry. Not the teenage opponent from the Ancestor tournament, but older, stronger, somewhere between the boy who died and the legend he became. Beside him stood more ancestors, their faces a blur yet familiar in the bones. George folded his arms. So, you ready to stop trying to be three different men and start being the one you're supposed to be? Anonymous looked between them, inner child, ancestor, serpent of venom waiting just beyond. It felt impossible, trying to hold so much contradiction in one body. What if I mess it up? He asked. Toddler Yoku stepped closer, tiny hand reaching out for his. What if you don't? In the chamber, Goku Rap watched Anonymous standing still with eyes closed, aura swirling. He turned to the rest of the Raps. Everyone, he called. You're not learning generic combat. You're learning how to make peace with every version of yourself. That's the only way we beat somebody like Twilight Zone Rap. He doesn't just punch your face, he punches your identity. He moved down the line, tapping Budan Man on the chest. Your unity isn't a costume. Your wings only work if you believe other people deserve to soar as much as you do. He gestured at Emo Rap. Your emotions. Stop trying to hide them or weaponize them only as tragedy. Ever tried turning joy into a grenade? Emo Rap sniffed. George. That's why it's strong, Goku said. He pointed at Trump Rap. Your voice is loud. That's a responsibility. Words are chai. He pointed at Karen Rap. Your instinct to complain? That's shadow advocacy. Turn it into protection. Use it for those who can't speak. He moved to Mama Ama Rap and bowed slightly. Your nurture can heal or smother. This war needs your fierce version. Mama Ama smiled, but there was a new glint in her eye. Baby, the fierce version been waiting. Gamer Rap got a tap on the forehead. You see the battlefield like a map, Goku said. From now on, I want you calling plays mid-fight. Nerd Rap got a nod. Analyze everything. Tell us what Division Legion feeds on and how to starve them. Revite got a grin. You already know, Goku said. You're rewriting physics with faith. Revite chuckled. Somebody got to. Around them all, the chamber pulsed, listening. The invisible spirit did not interfere. It only provided the arena. Inside his mind, Anonymous took Toddler Yoku's hand. Alright, he said. No more leaving you in here. We're going together. Toddler Yoku's chant shifted. It lost some of its frantic edge and smoothed into a rhythm that felt balanced. 10 or 11. 10 or 11. We all go together now and forever. George nodded, stepping closer. Your venom? It's just your hurt looking for language. Your ancestors. We're your memory of surviving. Your inner child. He's your reason. He placed a rough hand on Anonymous's shoulder. Let all of us be one person. Venom rose within Anonymous, a greenish-purple smoke that could corrode, protect, or terrify. It coiled around inner child and ancestor, at first distrustful, then curious as the two didn't flinch. Toddler Yoku giggled and poked the venom. Hi, Snake, he said. Wanna play? George laughed, low and proud. Look at that. The thing you were scared of is just another part of you. The venom softened, reshaping into a translucent serpent that curled around them, not to choke, but to guard. An unseen door inside Anonymous clicked. In the physical chamber, his aura exploded. Purple flooded the room, edged with neon green threaded with gold. The floor shook. The rivers of Chakratati surged, wrapping around him like spirals of living light. Goku Raz widened. Oh yeah, he muttered. There it is. Edna and Peter appeared on the chamber's higher ledge, watching. The Traichi is knocking, Edna murmured. Door ain't open yet, Peter replied. He has to choose it in a real fight. Goku Rap looked up at them. Their eyes met. No words were needed. Then the chamber trembled with the call to action. The city was under attack. Invisible Spirit's voice rolled through the chamber like a bell. Go. When the Rap tribe arrived in the Metroplex, it was like dropping a sun into a storm. Budan Man flew first, Unity Wing slicing through the twisted sky. Wherever he passed, screaming crowds felt the sudden urge to take each other's hands instead of shove. Couples paused mid-argument, breathing in a little easier. Strangers yelled less, listened more. The light he left behind wasn't just pretty, it recalibrated hearts. Mama Ama Rap landed in the middle of a panicked highway. Cars had crashed into each other. People screamed, some injured, some frozen in fright. She struck the asphalt with her palm and sent healing waves through the wreckage. Metal bent back into shape. Glass floated up and reassembled into windshields. Broken bones knit, terrified eyes calm. It's all right, baby, she said to a child curled under an overturned car. We here now. Rev Ike Rap chose a rooftop that faced 3 neighborhoods at once. He raised his hand, golden chi radiating like warm sunlight. Anyone who believes we can turn this around, he shouted, say yes. His voice echoed across blocks, through windows, into hearts. Hundreds shouted it. Yes. Their belief turned into tiny streams of golden energy that flew toward him. He gathered them, reshaping their power into a shockwave of command chi that pushed Division Legion back from several city blocks at once. Faith is a force, he murmured, and I am not afraid to use it. Gamer Rap and Nerd Rap perched near him, eyes glowing with digital and analytical overlays. Data coming in, Nerd Rap said. Division Legion spikes when people feel unseen, misunderstood, or singled out. They shrink when folks feel heard. So, Gamer Rap grinned. We gotta run a full empathy side quest mid-raid. Rev Ike smirked. Then let's patch some souls while we're punching demons. Goku Rap appeared on a skyscraper across from Twilight Zone Rap, teleporting without flair, just sudden presence. You really picked the wrong family to mess with, he said. Twilight Zone Rap tilted his head eyes like static pools. You think this is just about your little tribe? I'm trying to prove a point about existence itself. Yeah, Goku replied, and my existence is about breaking your points. He vanished, reappeared right in Twilight Zone Rap's face, fist cocked. The punch landed. Reality warped. In the streets below, racist Rap lunged at a mixed group of people huddled together. His punches turned into slurs that peeled at their sense of self. Budan Man Dove intercepting mid-swing. The clash shook the block. Your whole power set, Budan Man shouted, depends on people agreeing with you. Racist Rap sneered. They always will. Deep down, everybody needs someone to look down on. Budan Man laughed. It was a warm, mocking sound that made even racist Rap's face flicker. You ever been a real cookout? Budan Man asked. We don't do that there. He grabbed racist Rap's arm and flung him upward, wings flaring. The two took the fight skyward, one trying to divide, the other powered by every moment unity had made survival possible. On another block, Emo Rap faced Jealous Rap, their auras clashing in a storm of feelings. Emo Rap's tears fell as blazing light. You want everything they have, Emo Rap whispered. And you'd rather see it destroyed than admit you're hurting. Jealous Rap snarled, claws of envy ripping at his opponent's aura. Because I never get mine, he screamed. Emo Rap's tears hit the ground, sprouting flowers that glowed like soft lanterns. We both know that's a lie, Emo softly. Your story matters. You just never learned that somebody else's win doesn't make you less. He opened his arms, letting Jealous Rap's clawed strike pierce his aura. But instead of collapsing, Emo's chi flowed around the claw, absorbing it, then reshaping it into a hug made of light. Jealous Rap stiffened as the hug enveloped him. For the first time, his face crumpled into grief instead of anger. I just didn't want to disappear, he sobbed. Emo Rap held him tighter. You don't, not here. Jealous Rap flickered, then dissolved into a small, faintly glowing orb that drifted upward, its energy soft instead of sharp. High above, Twilight Zone Rap realized his legion wasn't feeding as fast as he'd hoped. He snarled, chi darkening. Fine, he hissed. If they won't break themselves, I'll break their center. He snapped his fingers. Betrayal Rap appeared across from Anonymous Cherry. They stood on the top of a building that had warped into a spiral staircase leading nowhere. The wind around them smelled like old hurt and burnt bridges. Betrayal Rap's coat flared in the unnatural breeze. His eyes were sharp, but behind the sharpness was something else. Something that knew what it was to have trusted and regretted it. Anonymous's snake chi stirred. We finally meet properly, Betrayal Rap said, voice smooth as poisoned honey. You're the favorite. He gestured with his chin toward the city. Chosen, protected, given chance after chance. Protected, Anonymous shot back. I almost died 9 times. Oh, I know, Betrayal Rap said. And every time someone stepped in, someone took a hit you didn't, someone covered for you, someone forgave you, someone believed you'd get it together. How long, he asked softly, before you let them down? The words hit like a punch. Images flashed through Anonymous's mind. People he'd promised to show up for and hadn't, messages he'd left unread, relationships he hadn't nurtured, his own mistakes and failures. Snake chi hissed defensively. Neoplasm chi surged, ready to swallow the feeling whole and drown it in numbness. Betrayal Rap stepped closer. That's my power, Anonymous, he whispered. I'm not just the hurt people do to you. I'm the hurt you do to others. I'm the fear that one day the people who believed in you will look at you and say, you weren't worth it. He lashed out. The blade he swung wasn't metal. It was made of every moment someone had trusted Anonymous and he hadn't lived up to their hope. The strike hit his aura, and for a second it passed through. His heart ached like something tearing. He dropped to a knee. Goku Rap and Twilight Zone Rap clashed far above, their blows splitting clouds open, each impact sending loops of time stuttering. Udon Man collided with Racist Rap again and again. Revike blasted Command Chi at Cancel Rap, forcing people's names to reattach themselves to their humanity instead of their mistakes. But Anonymous's battle turned inward. Look at you, Betrayal Rap said softly. You think you're some chosen warrior of unity. You think you're going to carry inner child, ancestors, and venom like a crown. What if all you are is a walking disappointment with cool special effects? Anonymous's hands shook. Toddler Yoku's voice tried to rise inside him, but the noise of self-accusation drowned it. Then another voice pushed through. Edna Pemberton. Child, her voice rolled like thunder and comfort blended. Stand up. In the spirit dimension layered over the city, she placed a hand on Peter Johnson's arm. He can't merge in theory, she murmured. He has to merge here. Peter nodded. Time to tip the scale. George Cherry appeared inside Anonymous's inner space, stepping through the spinning chaos of doubts. Greg, he said, voice firm, look at me. Anonymous forced his eyes inward, seeing George standing there, older, gaze both gentle and unflinching. I messed up, Anonymous rasped. I've hurt people. I've let folks down. Maybe he's right. Maybe. George strode forward and grabbed him by the shirt. Of course you messed up, he said. We all have. You think I didn't. You think I died perfect. You think every ancestor in your line was some flawless saint. Tears burned at the corners of Anonymous's eyes. If you were waiting to deserve us, George continued, you'd never access us. Legacy isn't a prize for perfection. It's a resource for people willing to keep going. Behind him, other ancestors' shapes appeared. Edna's younger self, People Anonymous didn't have names for but felt in his bones. You're allowed to grow, George said. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to say, I'm sorry, and mean it, and then move different. That's what makes you worthy of the strength we give. Not your record, your decision. Toddler Yoku stepped up to George's other side, eyes shining. And I'm allowed to be here, he said, tiny but fierce. Not locked away just because grown-up you is scared of feeling like me. Venom swirled around them all, watching. What about me? The Venom whispered, voice like hissing steam. All I do is hurt things. George shook his head. You also protect. You respond fast when danger comes. You see threats others ignore. You're not the problem. You're a tool with no guidance. Toddler Yoku smiled. We can play by rules. We can decide what we do with you. Venom hesitated. What if I go too far, it asked. Then we pull you back, George replied. Together. Something in that word cracked the dam. Together. In the city, Betrayal Rap raised his blade for another strike. See, he said, you're too scared of who you are to even fight me properly. Anonymous exhaled. In the inner space, he took Toddler Yoku's hand with one and reached for George with the other. The ancestors placed their palms on his back. Venom flowed toward them, trembling unsure. An invisible cord snapped into place as they touched. Fine, Anonymous said. No more dividing myself. He opened his arms to all of them. I accept you, all of you, inner child, ancestors, Venom. We're not enemies. We're me. The inner space exploded with light. In the physical world, his aura detonated. The purple flames of his neoplasm Chai shot upward, threaded through with neon green serpentine energy and streaks of golden ancestral light. The air around him warped, not with distortion, but with density, as if reality respected the unity of what he had become. Betrayal Rap's blade came down. It struck the new aura and shattered. Anonymous rose slowly to his feet. His eyes glowed like amethyst suns with golden stars inside. Snake scales flickered across his skin in patterns that pulsed, then faded. Around his shoulders, ancestor silhouettes shimmered, their hands resting there as if they always had. Toddler Yoku's laughter rang gently in every heartbeat. The invisible spirit's voice rolled through the sky and chamber at once. Anonymous Cherry. Traichi Miracle Form unlocked. Trey. Venom. Legacy. Inner Child. 1. Betrayal Rap staggered back, staring. What are you? Anonymous stepped forward, and the very ground seemed relieved to hold his feet. I'm the one you didn't plan for, he said quietly. The one who doesn't pretend he's perfect to earn his power. The one who knows his past and still chooses to move forward. The one whose hurt doesn't own him anymore. He raised his hands. Traichi coiled. This, he said, is for everyone I failed, and everyone who refused to give up on me. Betrayal Rap snarled and lunged, gathering every betrayal the city had ever known, every cheated trust, every abandoned child, every broken promise. He slammed it all into one final strike. Anonymous didn't dodge. He let it land. The blade of betrayal pierced his aura, and his aura caught it. The venom component of his Tri-Chi flowed over the attack, not destroying it, but neutralizing its toxicity. The ancestral component embraced the memory of each betrayal, absorbing it into a long lineage of hurt survived. The inner child component refused to let it calcify into cynicism, holding space for the possibility of repair. The energy reformed in his hands, swirling into a dense, crackling sphere. Cherry Shield Combo upgraded by Tri-Chi Miracle. Go home, Anonymous whispered. He thrust his palms forward. The blast hit Betrayal Rap not as annihilation, but as overwhelming truth. The energy forced him to see every betrayal he committed, every time he'd given up on people before giving them a chance to grow, every moment he'd chosen rejection instead of honesty. He screamed, the sound broken, confused, almost childlike. Then he collapsed into a kneeling position, hands on the ground. He stammered, I just didn't want to be disappointed again. Anonymous stepped close and placed a hand on his shoulder. You don't have to be our enemy, he said. You can be our warning, our lesson, our reminder. Betrayal Rap's form flickered, his dark coat softening, his eyes losing some of their bitter edge. I don't know how, he whispered. We'll figure it out, Anonymous replied. Together. The word echoed again. Together. High above, Twilight Zone Rap felt something in his own power base crumble. He snarled, twisting away from Goku Rap, whose new ascended totality form had been wearing him down. Enough, Twilight Zone Rap roared. If I can't break you here, I'll make sure you never get the chance to heal again. He slammed both hands into the sky. Rifts burst open above the city. Time buckled. People saw older versions of themselves, younger versions, alternate possibilities. Confusion spread like wildfire. For a brief second, the entire Metroplex doubted its own timeline, history, and future. Unity faltered. Division Legion felt the surge. But before it could swell into something catastrophic, another power rose. Unity wings cast a wide shadow. Udon Man hovered above the city, arms wide, powered now not just by physical hand-holding, but by the deeper unity of shared story, shared history, shared struggle. Listen to me, Udon Man shouted, voice amplified beyond physics. We are not the sum of our divisions. We are the sum of our connections. Images flared across the sky. Cookouts, protests, church services, backyard barbecues, playgrounds, studios, grave sites where 2 young lives had been wept over by hands of every shade and story. Unity wasn't theoretical. It was lived, messy, imperfect, real. The rifts trembled. Goku Rap appeared in front of Twilight Zone Rap again, beat up but every bit as bright. You keep trying to break them by showing them how fragile they are, Goku said. But you're forgetting something. Twilight Zone Rap snarled, swinging another distortion punch. Goku blocked it with an open palm glowing like compressed starlight. What could I possibly be forgetting? The villain spat. That fragility, Goku said, is exactly what makes them strong when they choose each other anyway. He smirked, and they've already chosen. On cue, voices rose from the city below. Not in unison at first. Scattered, imperfect, then converging. We rise as one. Emo Rap shouted it through tears. Trump Rap shouted it with surprising sincerity. Karen Rap shouted it like a complaint turned into a demand for justice. Gamer Rap shouted it like a victory call. Nerd Rap shouted it like a hypothesis proven. Mama Ama Rap shouted it like a prayer answer. Rev Ike shouted it like a decree. Anonymous Cherry shouted it with every ancestor and every near-death brush behind him. Buddha Man shouted it as a promise. The chant became a pulse of energy. Unity Chi surged up, combining with Goku Rap's Totality Saiyan Chi. Anonymous' Traichi Miracle, Rev Ike's Command Chi, Mama's Mother Storm, Emo's Transformed Tears, Gamer's Strategy Grid, Nerd's Analytical Precision, Buddha Man's Wings. The blast hit Twilight Zone Rap full in the chest. This wasn't just a hit to his body. It was a hit to his thesis. No, he rasped, reality warping around him, cracking. They're not supposed to, old. The sky screamed as his aura fractured. Even if you beat me here, he growled with his last coherent breath, there are always cracks. Always people who choose fear. Always. His form flickered. He didn't die. He scattered. Little bits of Twilight Zone Chi shot across the world, embedding themselves in future conflicts, future wounds, future temptations to give up on unity. But for now, in this city, in this battle, he was gone. The Division Legion froze, their power source disrupted. Some dissolved, some fled, some, like Betrayal Rap, changed. The sky slowly shifted back towards something like normal. The buildings straightened, the lights steady. The spores shrank and crumbled. The battle was over. For now. Later, on a tall building overlooking a repaired stretch of the city, the Rap Tribe gathered. The air was cooler now, the apocalypse scent replaced by the city's usual blend of exhaust, food, and possibility. The stars were visible between the clouds again. Anonymous sat on the edge of the roof, legs dangling, Trichi aura dimmed to a faint inner glow. Toddler Yoku sat beside him in spirit form, mimicking his posture, also kicking legs. "You did it," Toddler Yoku said. "We did it," Anonymous replied. "You, me, them." He placed a hand over his heart. "George, Edna, Peter, all of them. You think you'll always remember that when you mess us up?" Toddler Yoku asked, eyes big. "No," Anonymous said honestly. "But I'll remember faster, and I won't try to carry any of it alone again." Behind them, George stood with Edna and Peter. They watched their descendant with a mixture of pride and the sober knowledge that this was just one battle in a long war. "Trichi miracle, huh?" Peter said. "Didn't think we'd see that in our line so soon." Edna smiled. "We prayed for it long before he was born. Invisible spirit just took the scenic route." Goku Rap floated nearby, aura dim but still different. Less like fire, more like a star that decided to stay. "You good?" he asked Anonymous. "No idea what that means anymore," Anonymous answered. "But I'm not running from myself. So, yeah, I think I'm good." Goku grinned. "You know, with that new form, if you ever want to spar." "Oh, absolutely not," Anonymous cut him off. "I like my bones inside my body." They both laughed. Udon Man swooped past and landed, folding his wings. "We're just getting started, you know," he said. "Unity's not a one-time win. It's a daily maintenance plan." Rev Ike appeared on the other side, adjusting his collar. "We should put that on a t-shirt," he mused. "Unity, daily maintenance, no days off." Mama Amma Rap smacked his arm playfully. "And put your face on it, I know." "Branding, baby," Rev Ike said. "Branding." The tribe gathered closer. They didn't know exactly what Twilight Zone Rap's scattered chi would do next, what new forms it would take, what fresh temptations would appear in their friendships and alliances. They didn't know which of them would be tested hardest next time. They didn't know what new villains would rise from the cracks of human fear. But they knew something they hadn't known as deeply before. Unity wasn't pretending to be the same. It was choosing each other in full difference, full history, full complexity. It was inner child, ancestor, venom, doubt, and hope all standing in the same body and saying, "We're not giving up." Anonymous looked across the city, feeling Trichi pulse calmly in his chest. "Whatever comes next," he murmured, "we're ready to grow through it." Toddler Yoku leaned against him, humming a softer version of the chant. Will it be 10 or 11? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's heaven. The invisible spirit listened and smiled unseen. New trials waited. But for tonight, the city breathed easier. For tonight, the Rap Tribe rested on a rooftop, bruised and laughing, powerful and humble. For tonight, the Trichi miracle was enough. And somewhere far away, in a corner of fractured reality, Twilight Zone Rap stitched himself back together and whispered into the dark. "Next time, I don't come alone." Big X the Plug Rap amps up the Rap Tribe. RP Radio. Big X the Plug Rap had felt it before anybody else. Back in the chamber, before the sky tore over the Metroplex, before Twilight Zone Rap scattered his poison through the city, there had been a moment where everything almost broke, not on the battlefield, but in the training. It was when Goku Rap pulled all of his forms together. The air in the invisible spirit time chamber of power had gone too still, the way it does right before a speaker blows or an engine seizes. The rivers of Chakratati had stopped flowing. Instead they hovered, trembling in midair, unsure if they should move forward or flee. Goku Rap stood in the center, merging Kaioken Fury, Super Saiyan Pride, God Serenity, Blue Discipline, and Ultra Instinct Calm into one ascended totality. His aura thickened and whitened, then brightened to a point that hurt to look at. Bones hummed, space flexed, the chamber itself groaned. Anonymous, watching from the sidelines, felt it in his teeth. Mama Amarap's eyes narrowed. Revike's smile dimmed a touch. Even the invisible spirit stayed quiet, letting the moment unfold. Then Goku's breath hitched. That was the sign. Like a car revving too high for too long, his energy started to spike out of rhythm. Power he could summon on will alone wasn't the problem. The problem was the beat beneath it, the steady timing that let a body hold power without falling apart. Ascended totality wasn't just force. It was a constant, and that constant was starting to waver. If he lost it now, it wouldn't just knock him out. It might tear a hole in the chamber, in the timeline, in the training itself. That was when Big X the Plug Rap moved. He had been leaning against one of the chamber's pillars, watching in that laid-back way that made people forget how dangerous he truly was. Thick frame, broad shoulders, chain glinting faintly under the chamber light, he carried himself like a walking baseline, heavy, grounded, impossible to ignore once he stepped in. He pushed off the pillar with a lazy kind of grace and strutted toward the center, each footfall hitting like a drum. Y'all hear that? Big X the Plug Rap asked, voice deep and unhurried. Nerd Rap frowned. Hear what? Big X that Plug tilted his head, listening to something deeper than the room. His rhythm slipping. Power's there, but the groove ain't locked in yet. He stepped up to the boundary of Goku Rap's aura. The energy thrummed against his chest, trying to shove him back. He planted his feet and let the hit roll through him like sound through subwoofers. Goku Rap's eyes were squeezed shut, face tight, sweat hovering on his skin and glittering orbs that couldn't decide whether to fall or rise. His aura flared jagged. The rivers of chi shook harder. I got it, Goku grunted. I just need. You need a plug, Big X the Plug said. He took one more step forward and laid his palm flat on Goku Rap's back. The chamber snapped like a soundboard turning on. Under Goku's wild power, Big X heard the heartbeat of it, erratic, powerful, but unsteady. Ascended totality was still trying to find its tempo. So Big X the Plug Rap did what he always did best. He brought the beat. He started humming first, a low rolling melody that swung like a slow Dallas drive, all weight and swagger. The hum turned into a rhythm, then into a pattern, then into an invisible kick drum that synced itself to Goku's heart. Thump, 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 thump. His chi didn't blaze outward. It dropped downward, into the floor, into the core. Big X the Plug Rap's energy wasn't the kind that flew around like lightning. His was foundation chi, trunk of the car chi, shake the block chi. He sent it up through his palm into Goku's aura. Breathe on the beat, Big X muttered. Don't race it, ride it. Goku's aura bucked, trying to reject the new pattern. For a moment, it looked like Big X might be thrown backwards, his hand burned off by god-level chi. Then something inside Goku recognized the rhythm. His heartbeat lined up. His breaths fell onto the invisible drums. The jagged light around him smoothed out, still blinding, but now in waves instead of spikes. The rivers of Chakra Tati began to move again, swirling up and around the two of them in spiraling streams of glowing water. Ascended totality Cyan Chi settled into place like a track finally seated right on rotating vinyl. Anonymous watched, eyes wide. He stabilized him. Revike nodded slowly. Every powerhouse needs an engineer in the booth. Big X just mixed the energy. Mama Amarap smiled. That's right. Can't have no wild child chi with no grown man tempo. Goku opened his eyes. They weren't frantic now. They were clear, bright, sharp. Whatever you just did, he said, voice a little hoarse. Don't stop doing that if I ever start glitching again. Big X that Plug Rap grinned. That's what I'm here for. I'm the plug, right? I keep the lights on. He gave Goku's back one last solid pat and stepped away as the new form flared, now not just powerful but sustainable. That was the moment nobody saw as a battle. But it was. And when the sky over the Metroplex tore open and Twilight Zone Rap started as chaos, that hidden groundwork turned out to be the only reason Goku Rap didn't burn himself out in the first 10 minutes. When Goku Rap and Twilight Zone Rap clashed above the towers, their blows tearing loops in the sky, the strain returned. Even with Ascended Totality locked in, the demands were brutal. Twilight Zone Rap's chi didn't just resist hits, it warped them. Goku threw an energy blast and watched half of it age into dust midair while the other half rewound back into his own palm. Every punch had to be corrected mid-throw, every dodge recalculated mid-step. It was like fighting someone who could edit the footage of the fight while it was happening. Keeping power, timing, and instincts all synced in that environment took more than raw strength. It took a groove. With each exchange, the tension in Goku's body built. His aura brightened, but small cracks of static began to crawl through the edges of his white light. His breaths came a little too fast. His heartbeat started pushing ahead of the rhythm they'd found in the chamber. Down below, Big X the Plug Rap felt it. He'd been on the streets, throwing hands with division goons, amplifying his opponent's chi 1,000-fold only to flip it back on them, shorting their circuits. His ability to magnify and redirect energy turned street skirmishes into lessons in humility. But even as he fought, he kept one ear turned upward. He always heard the big speaker. He knocked a corrupted cloud chaser Rap backward with a shoulder check so heavy it shattered a section of warped sidewalk into dust, then lifted his head, squinting up toward the sky. Goku's rhythm was slipping again. Ah, hell, Big X muttered. You're running too hot. He grabbed the jersey of the last division minion in his way and bumped the guy's forehead against a nearby light post. The knock echoed like a snare smack. Nap time, lil homie, Big X said, letting him drop. Then he kicked off the ground hard enough to crater the asphalt and launched himself upward. He didn't fly like Budenman or Goku. There was no elegant glide, no sonic streak. Big X the Plug Rap moved like a shot put thrown by someone who knew exactly how heavy they were and didn't mind using every pound. He blasted up past shattered windows and glitching billboards, through the lingering trails of twisted chi, until he reached the altitude where the two titans duked it out. Twilight Zone Rap saw him coming and sneered. Oh, another one, he sighed. This is not a feature track, big man. This is an art piece. Goku Rap saw him and laughed once quickly, despite the strain. Good timing, Goku gritted out, blocking a distortion's twisted hook. He's been trying to turn my heart into a broken metronome. Yeah, I heard you tripping, Big X replied. He didn't attack Twilight Zone Rap directly. That wasn't why he was there. He pulled up right beside Goku instead and set one hand on his shoulder. Boots planted on thin air like it was solid ground. The strain rolling off Goku hit his palm like static buzzing wild. Big X took it in, let it vibrate through his chest cavity like bass through car doors. Nah, he said to the wild tempo. We not doing that. He inhaled slow. Then he began to spit. No beat, no track, just his voice. It wasn't lyrics like a performance. It was cadence like a spell. A flow that rode the natural climb and drop of Goku's energy, catching it when it spiked too high, pulling it up when it dipped, locking it into a pocket. Breathe with it, Big X called out between lines. Feel that drop. That's you resetting. Every exhale on the one, every hit on the two. Don't chase his weird tempo. Make him move to yours. Goku's chest hitched once, twice, then began to follow the sound. The white light around him steadied again, still fierce, but now pulsing in measured waves. The glitching edges smoothed out. His movements became less frantic and more inevitable. Twilight Zone Rap's eyes narrowed. What are you doing? He snapped. This is a duel of gods. You can't just bring background music. Big X that Plug barked one deep laugh. I ain't background, he said. I slammed the infrastructure. He wasn't just stabilizing Goku now. He was amplifying him. Loaded inside Big X the Plug's chi was that magnification gift, the ability to take whatever energy he touched and ramp it up 1,000-fold. He'd always used it to make enemies trip over their own strength, but here, pressed against Goku's shoulder, he was feeding it differently. Every time Goku's aura surged on the beat, Big X grabbed that pulse and cranked it. Not randomly on rhythm, on purpose. He pushed power where Goku's body could actually hold it, respecting the timing and strain. Ascended Totality Saiyan Chi plus Plug Amplifier Chi. The strain wasn't erased. It was managed. You are not supposed to be able to do that, Twilight Zone Rap hissed. He is supposed to overextend and break. That's the whole point of his archetype. Big X the Plug tilted his chin at him. You ever been to a show where the sound man knows what he's doing? He asked calmly. Artists might go wild, but the structure stays solid. He thumped Goku lightly on the chest, sending another stabilizing beat through him. This one ain't blowing out. Goku grinned now, full and sharp hair flaring taller as the maintained power found room to play. Let's run it then, he said. Together, they moved. Goku took the front line, fists and feet blazing with refined brutality. Big X the Plug stayed at his shoulder, one hand maintaining contact, the other occasionally hurling shockwave punches at distortions that got too close. Twilight Zone Rap tried to twist time. When he sped it up, Big X slowed the inner groove. When he slowed it down, Big X doubled the internal tempo, never letting Goku's chi fall out of sync with itself. Below, where the tribe fought Division Legion, people looked up and saw not just a warrior and a villain, but a collaboration at the top. Nerd Rap, eyes glowing as he ran calculations mid-battle, gasped. Big X is acting like a stabilizer node, he babbled. He spread loading the strain along the waveform of Goku's energy, converting raw output into sustained performance. Gamer Rap ducked under a wild swing from a shaken Division minion and laughed. English, bro. He's making sure Goku doesn't kill himself being a hero, Nerd Rap translated. Rev Ike caught the explanation as he forced Cancel Rap to fizzle out with one last blast of belief-restoring chime. That's Covenant work, he said, nodding slowly. Plug work. Promise work. I'm not gonna let you burn down what you were meant to light up. Even Anonymous, locked in his trying battle with Betrayal Rap, felt the way Goku's energy changed. It reassured him. Somewhere above, someone was making sure their golden fighter didn't fall apart while holding the line. By the time Twilight Zone Rap tried his last desperate gambit, warping the entire sky, time, and narrative, Goku's power was still there, still bright, still sustainable. Not because he was endless, but because he wasn't carrying it alone. Big X the Plug stayed connected through the whole exchange, through every twist and counter, through Twilight Zone Rap's final fracture. And when the battle ended, when Twilight Zone Rap scattered and the sky reset, Goku's form finally faded back down, not in a tragic collapse, but in a controlled slowdown. He and Big X landed back on a rooftop with the others, both breathing hard, both very much conscious. Goku grabbed Big X's forearm and pulled him into a shoulder bump. You saved my life up there, he said. Big X shrugged, but he couldn't hide the respect in his eyes. You the one throwing hands with a reality warper. I just made sure the track didn't skip. Anonymous watched them, feeling Tri-Chi humming steady in his own chest. The pattern settled in his mind. No one was built to carry their highest form alone. Not Goku, not him, not anybody. It took a plug. An engineer. A friend who knew how to keep your light from burning your body out when you turned all the way up. From that day on, when the Rap tribe trained in the chamber, whenever Goku Rap went into his ascended totality Saiyan Chi, Big X the Plug Rap was there, palm on his back, humming that grounding song, keeping the beat steady, keeping the strain livable. And when new warriors started unlocking their own miracle forms, it was Big X they went to whenever the power got too much, whenever their bones hummed wrong, whenever their heart raced off tempo. He would listen, eyes half closed, feeling the rhythm of their energy with a hand on their shoulder. Then he'd grin and say, "Relax, we gonna plug you in right." Because in a tribe of world breakers and miracle makers, Big X the Plug Rap's job was simple and sacred. Make sure nobody's gift destroyed them before their purpose was done. Donation Rap almost didn't notice the book at first. It was half buried in a pile of junk mail and coupon flyers by the busted newsstand on 12th and Jefferson, spine bent, cover smudged from 1,000 passing shoes. The sky above still had that faint bruised tint left over from Twilight Zone Rap's last weather adjustment, and most people hurried by with heads down, trying not to look at the way the billboards glitched. Donation Rap bent down anyway. The title hit him like a bar. Data Cartels. He brushed dirt off the cover, reading the subtitle out loud. The companies that control and monopolize our information. He flipped it over, feeling that strange hum in his palms that showed up whenever the invisible spirit hid something important in plain sight. It wasn't the kind of book that usually called him. No prosperity chants on the cover, no slick branding, no donation envelopes tucked inside. But his chai twitched. "This feel like a tide from the spirit," he murmured. "Hey, you find loot?" Nerd Rap called from up the sidewalk. Nerd Rap jogged over, backpack half unzipped, eyes bright behind crooked glasses. He'd been scanning the city's digital flow all day, trying to figure out how Twilight Zone Rap kept turning simple rumors into citywide panic in under an hour. Donation Rap held the book up. "You ever heard of this?" Nerd Rap took it, thumbed the pages, then saw the table of contents printed in crisp black letters. "The Data Cartels, an overview," he read, then skimmed down. "Data brokering, academic research, legal information, financial information, news." He whistled low. "This is literally a map of everything Twilight Zone Rap has twisted." He could almost see the circuits lighting behind his eyes. "Bro," Nerd Rap said slowly, "I think the invisible spirit just handed us the user manual for his grip on the city." They took the book back to the Rap Palace. The meditation grove felt wrong for this one. This wasn't just about inner peace. This was about infrastructure. So they went to the under basement, the place Nerd Rap had slowly turned into an analog-digital hybrid lab. Screens glowed on the walls, some running off solar panels on the rooftop, others powered by jury-rigged street energy. Old filing cabinets sat next to glowing data slates. A chalkboard sagged under math, maps, and cartoon doodles of Twilight Zone Rap being drop-kicked into a recycle bin. Donation Rap set the book on the center table like it was a sacred text, then pulled up a dented chair. "All right, Professor," he said, "preach to me." Nerd Rap opened to the first chapter and didn't read out loud. He'd learned his lesson about copyright from Rare Bike Rap, but he scanned, soaking in the ideas like chi. "Okay," he said after a minute. "So Data Cartels, this author is talking about these mega companies that scoop up everything. What we buy, where we go, what we search, what we fear. And then they don't just sell ads. They sell profiles of people, to cops, to landlords, to whoever pays. They turn information into power behind the scenes." Donation Rap leaned back, frowning. "So you're telling me Twilight Zone Rap, not just messing with light and weather and TV screens. He's running an underground data church." "Worse," Nerd Rap said. "He's the whole religion in the bank." He flipped to the data brokering chapter, tapping the page. "Think about his mushroom spores," Nerd continued. "They didn't just corrupt things. They watched things, recorded where folks argued, who panicked, who trusted who. Division Legion wasn't attacking at random. They hit streets where the invisible data said, these folks are already on edge." Donation Rap felt his chest tighten. He thought about all the donation streams he ran, The text lines, the QR codes during live streams, the Patreon-style Temple tier supporters could sign up for. The way he'd gotten used to seeing dashboards of stats. How different am I from that? He asked quietly. Nerd looked up. A lot, he said firmly. You ain't selling people's pain to the highest bidder. But you are touching people's information flows, their trust, their generosity. If Twilight Zone Rap has a data cartel, you've been running a fake network. You just didn't know the war was this deep yet. Donation Rap exhaled. So we learned the cartel game to flip it. Nerd Rap smiled, that slightly dangerous smile he got when the problem was almost solved. Exactly. They worked chapter by chapter. When they hit academic research, Nerd Rap's chai flared bright blue. Yo, look at this pattern, he said, swiveling one of the monitors toward Donation Rap. This book talks about huge companies locking up academic articles behind paywalls, right? So nobody can see the knowledge unless they pay. Twilight Zone Rap turned that concept into vibe. How you mean? Think about it, Nerd said. Every time we try to spread training knowledge, how to meditate, how to stabilize chi, how to recognize Division Legion energy in your own thoughts, we get glitched. Feeds crash, files corrupt, people forget links. That's him. He locked spiritual academic research behind a psycho-emotional paywall. Only the people already in our circle get it, and everybody else has to pay with confusion and fear. Donation Rap rubbed his beard. So we respond with open source enlightenment. Exactly, Nerd said. We gotta decentralize everything. Zines, street murals, radio drops, mixtapes. If he's trying to be LexisNexis of the soul, we finna be Pirate Bay for liberation. Donation Rap laughed. A bootleg blessing. Nerd Rap pointed at the legal information chapter next. Same move here, he said. These cartels control access to law. Twilight Zone Rap does the same thing with rules of reality. People only know what the law of the city is because the news under his influence tells them. It's dangerous after dark. Don't talk to your neighbor. Everybody's out to get you. That becomes the law. Fear ordinances, Donation Rap muttered. Invisible legislation. He snapped his fingers. That means we need an alternative court. A people's reality code. Something that tells folks you are allowed to trust. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to gather on these blocks without expecting doom. Nerd's fingers already flew across keys. We print it, transmit it, chant it, Nerd said. We turn it into a binding social chi contract. Legal info as community spellwork. By the time they reached the financial information and news chapters, they weren't just reading. They were scribbling battle plans in the margins. Financial info. Twilight Zone Rap manipulating credit scores through cursed chi spreadsheets, marking whole neighborhoods as high risk, so resources avoided them, then feeding off the resulting desperation. News, curated crises, algorithmic outrage, headline hexes. This is why every time we fix one block, 3 more feel hopeless, Donation Rap realized. He's redlining the spirit. Yeah, Nerd said softly, but if he can redline it, we can greenline it. He looked up, eyes blazing. We use these chapters as reverse engineering scrolls. This author mapped the real-world data cartels. We overlay her analysis on his twisted chi infrastructure and break his monopoly. Donation Rap placed a hand on the open book, chi flowing through his palm, not to absorb the words, but to bless the work. Sarah Lamdan, he murmured, reading the author's name from the cover. Appreciate you, sis. We gon' weaponize your wisdom. The first strike came a week later. Twilight Zone Rap assumed they were laying low, licking wounds, letting the city's fear creep back into baseline. He still had fragments of himself embedded in social feeds and data streams, and he used them like puppet strings, jerking opinions, sparking arguments. Then, quietly at first, the signals changed. It began with flyers. They appeared overnight on bus stops, laundromats, church doors, crooked on telephone poles. Plain paper, black ink, but the words landed with weight. Your data is being used against you. Your fears are being sold. Unity is the only firewall. Underneath, a QR code, not to a website that could be easily glitched, but to a mesh of peer-to-peer messages that hop from phone to phone across neighborhoods, carrying tutorials disguised as memes. How to notice when a story is manipulating you. How to track your own emotional triggers. How to talk to